Welcome back to Political Ray with me, Ray, and we had the Senate confirmation hearing for Pam Bondi as the Attorney General for the United States of America. So there was a lot in this. The Democrats went after her for a lot of different things. They went after her for the accepting the 2020 election results. They went after her for her being supportive of Cash Patel. They went after her for weaponizing the DOJ. Everything they could think of, they tried to ask her about. She kept her cool. I'd be nervous as all get out if it was me, but that's me. I wouldn't be a good AG. I don't know the law well enough to do that job anyway. But anyway, I digress. This woman kept her cool. She she nailed them on a few things, and I thought she'd overall she did better than Pete did yesterday. It was pretty good, or the day before rather. She did really good yesterday at this confirmation hearing, and I think she nailed it. I think she's going to get confirmed. I don't think that there's going to be a problem with her. I think that she's very very well qualified, overqualified, and I'm excited to see her in the role and let her do her thing. I don't think she's going to take any BS from President Trump. So there's that too. I mean, look, the whole weaponization of the DOJ. This is them accusing President Trump of doing exactly what they're doing. Don't look at what we're doing. Make sure that President Trump doesn't do the exact same thing. That's the whole gist of this. Look, and we're gonna go over a couple things here. I'm gonna show her opening statement here. Her opening statement was good. She spent the first few minutes thanking her friends and family, justifiably, you know, especially standing by her through her career and everything else. She wanted to thank them. I appreciate that. And she also said, "Look, there's a lot of women behind me that are here for me today for moral support, I guess." And she said, "If you want any dirt on me, these women behind me have known me for literally my whole life. And if you want any dirt on me, just ask them." That was that was pretty cool. I thought anyway. But I skipped through the first, little bit of her opening statement because, like I said, she thanked her family, and rightfully so. And she went through her qualifications in her career. I picked up right after that. But I encourage everybody to go watch the entire hearing. There was a lot of dull parts, but there was a lot of good stuff in there too. But it's a long hearing, so I encourage everybody to watch it if you want to watch it. Take it in its full context. But um, like I said, here's her opening statement. And like I said, the last part of it, because like I said, I went just after her career and everything else. So we'll check this one out.
If confirmed as the next Attorney General of the United States, my overriding objective will be to return the Department of Justice to its core mission of keeping Americans safe and vigorously prosecuting criminals. And that includes getting back to basics: gangs, drugs, terrorists, cartels, our border, and our foreign adversaries. That is what the American people expect,
Yes.
and that is what they deserve from the
Yes.
Department of Justice. If confirmed, I will do everything in my power, and it will be my great responsibility to make America safe again. Making America safe again also requires reducing recidivism. We have to fix the Bureau of Prisons, and I am looking on both sides of the aisle. The Bureau has suffered from years of mismanagement, lack of funding, and low morale. I was proud to support President Trump's First Step Act. I think more can be implemented and more can be done on that front. President Trump's leadership on criminal justice reform has demonstrated what is possible when a president is unafraid to do things that have been deemed to be too difficult. We have to reach across the aisle and get solutions for all of these problems. Like the president, I believe we are on the cusp of a new golden age. where the Department of Justice can and will do better if I am confirmed. Lastly, and most importantly, if confirmed, I will fight every day to restore confidence and integrity to the Department of Justice and each of its components. The partisanship, the weaponization will be gone. America will have one tier of justice for all. In all this work, I'll collaborate closely with this committee. I will work with all of you as I have committed to do when I met with almost all of you. And I will partner not only with the federal agencies, but with the state and local officials throughout our great country. I look forward to answering your questions today and working together for this country and our Constitution. Thank you, Senators.
All right, see now, I don't know I, why would you not agree with that? I thought that was pretty good. Um, she it was Hirono that didn't meet with her, but that's beside the point. Everything she said there, I don't see a problem with. I mean, like I said, um, it was uh, it was a good opening statement, and how I don't understand if anybody doesn't agree with her opening statement. I don't know how anybody could disagree with that. I really don't. But that's she wants to not weaponize the DOJ and take it back to what it's supposed to be. So how could you not agree with that? She straight up said in her opening statement there will be no weaponization of the DOJ if she is confirmed. But they're not going to let that go. They're not going to let it go because they're afraid of that because they've opened the floodgates. They've done it over the last 4 years with Joe Biden and his DOJ. They have weaponized the DOJ, the FBI going after parents of going to school board meetings, weaponizing the local police, the FBI. It's been happening, going after President Trump, which she points out against one of these senators during this hearing as well. It's just they're afraid of the retaliation from them doing the exact same thing that they don't want to happen to them. That's what they're afraid of, and that's the whole point of this, you know, political theater because they've already met with her and on an individual basis. So this is just political theater. Anyway, let's talk about the 2020 election and ask her if she agrees with the 2020 election and if there was any mass fraud, yada, yada, yada. And we'll check this one out too.
To my knowledge, Donald Trump has never acknowledged the legal results of the 2020 election. Are you prepared to say now, under
Excuse me.
oath without reservation, that Donald Trump lost the presidential contest to Joe Biden in 2020?
Ranking Member Durbin, President Biden is the President of the United States. He was duly sworn in, and he is the President of the United States. There was a peaceful transition of power. President Trump left office and was overwhelmingly elected in 2024.
Do you have any doubts that Joe Biden had the majority of votes, electoral votes, necessary to be elected president in 2020?
You know, Senator, all I can tell you as a prosecutor is from my firsthand experience.
Watch this.
And I accept the results. I accept, of course, that Joe Biden is President of the United States. But what I can tell you is what I saw firsthand when I went to Pennsylvania as an advocate for the campaign. I was an advocate for the campaign, and I was on the ground in Pennsylvania, and I saw many things there. But do I accept the results? Of course I do. Do I agree with what happened? And I saw so much. You know, no one from either side of the aisle should want there to be any issues with election integrity in
Agreed.
our country. We should all want our elections to be free and fair and the rules and the laws to be followed.
I think that question deserved a yes or no.
She already answered it.
Answer is an indication that you weren't prepared to answer yes.
She did. I see. Look, this is the games that they play. She answered that question. She said, "Yes, I accept the results of the 2020 election." But because it wasn't just a solid yes and she gave an explanation to her answer, he's going to go ahead and twist it and say, okay, so you're not going to answer that question. She did. She just gave an explanation as to what happened, and she didn't go into great detail, explaining a little bit of what she saw and that she does accept the results. But they don't care about that. He's going to twist it and say, okay, so you're not going to answer the question just because she didn't give a yes or a no. It's ridiculous. Anyway, all Shiffy. Now he was in here, and of course, you know he's gonna pull some shenanigans. But we'll check this out.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Bondi, as you know, the Supreme Court in Trump versus United States held the president has absolute immunity to commit crimes in certain core areas of the president's responsibility. One of those core areas is the Justice Department. So, in a breathtakingly dangerous and irresponsible decision, Justice Roberts and the majority held the president could commit crimes using the Department of Justice and be immune from prosecution. Justice Sotomayor correctly said this new immunity lies about like a loaded weapon. So the fear and the concern we have is that the incoming president will use that loaded weapon, that immunity, to commit crimes through the Department of Justice. And for that reason, it is all the more important that we have an attorney general who has
They're scared
the
of Trump
independence, the
using the
strength, the intestinal
DOJ the
fortitude
same
to
way
say
that
no
President Biden has
to the
done for the last
president
4
when it is
years.
necessary.
Keep it in mind.
So my first set of questions has to do whether you have the independence
He wanted to say balls.
no when you must say no. And you can say this is hypothetical, but it is not hypothetical. So let me start with one very specific.
It's not hypothetical because it's the same thing that your DOJ, the Democrats' DOJ, has been doing for the last 4 years. That is not hypothetical.
Non-hypothetical. The president has said Jack Smith should go to jail. Will you investigate Jack Smith?
Senator, I haven't seen the file. I haven't seen the investigation. I haven't looked at anything. It would be irresponsible of me to make a commitment regarding anything without. You're a long practicing attorney without looking at a file.
So you would need a factual predicate to open an investigation of Jack Smith. Is that
Not
right?
a summary by you sitting here. Yes, sir.
And not a summary by the president either, right?
Absolutely.
There you go.
So a summary by the president or his desire to investigate Jack Smith would not be enough for
She
you.
just answered it, and he's going to ask it again.
Is that right?
I will look at the
Oh my gosh.
and evidence in any case.
And sitting here,
72%,
sitting here today,
Senator, 72% of Americans
please, I only have
have
7 minutes.
lost faith
Sitting
in the
here-
Department of Justice.
Sitting here
Yeah.
today, sitting here today, are you aware of any factual predicate to investigate Jack Smith? Sitting here today, yes or no?
Senator, I will look at the facts and the circumstances.
You can't answer that
Anything that's
question.
brought to me.
You're not a part of the.
Why would she answer it? She doesn't know the circumstances or the facts. Look,
Sensitive information. So
she's telling him that she needs to look over everything, and she can't make a statement based on what she doesn't know. But he's going to press her anyway because he wants her to say yes so he can get her in a gotcha. Okay, but she's not having it. She's like, look, I can look over the facts of the case and see if we got anything to go on. She's not gonna give him a yes or a no. But he wants a gotcha moment, but he's not gonna get it from her.
just tell us.
I'm
Are
sitting
you
here
aware?
as a nominee.
Just tell us. Are you aware of a factual predicate to investigate Jack Smith? Yes or no?
Senator, what I'm hearing on the news
Are
is
you aware of
horrible.
a?
Do I know if
you
he
seem
committed a crime?
reluctant.
I have not
You
looked at
seem
it.
reluctant to answer a simple question. Let me ask you a different simple question. The president also wants to jail Liz Cheney. Sitting here today, are you aware of any factual basis to investigate Liz Cheney? Yes or no?
Senator, that's a hypothetical, and I'm not going to
No,
answer that
no,
question.
it's not hypothetical. I'm asking you, sitting here today, whether you are aware of a factual predicate to investigate Liz Cheney.
Senator, no one
Based
has
on what
asked
you
me
know.
to investigate Liz Cheney. That is a
The president has
hypothetical.
called for it publicly. You are aware of that, aren't you?
Now, when President Trump said this, he said that she should be investigated, and I think she should be. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that went down with that Jan 6 stuff, and the allegations about her, you know, destroying evidence, there could be a case there. But she's going to say again, she's got to look at that. She can't just say yes or no that it should happen, and rightfully so. I give her a lot of credit. She's not taking this bait. He wants to get her in a gotcha moment, but he's not going to get it. He's not going to get it.
No one has asked me to investigate.
But the president has
We're also
the
worried
president,
about Liz Cheney.
the president has
You know
called
what we
for
should
this.
be worried about?
Ms. Bondi,
The
please
crime rate
answer
in
my questions.
California right now
You
Yeah.
is through the roof.
Ms. Bondi,
Your
my-
robberies
Ms.
are
Bondi,
87%
my
higher
question-
than the
my
national
question
average.
is this.
Woo!
That's what I
My
want to
question is
focus
this.
on,
Do
Senator.
you have the
If I'm
power to
confirmed
say
as
no to the
Attorney
president?
General.
And what you're suggesting today by your non-answer is you don't have the independence to say no to the president.
She's not giving you an answer. She's standing her ground, which tells me that she can tell the president no if she has to. That right there tells me that she can stand her ground because she's standing her ground against these guys. These people in the Senate, these Democrats that are pressing her on these issues, and she's not giving them any leeway. She's just straight up telling them, look, I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to do it effectively and by the law. So she's not giving. That tells me that she can stand her ground against President Trump. And if he tries to do something, God forbid, untoward, then she can stand her ground and tell him, no, we're not going to do that.
So let me ask you a different question. It also requires you, if you're going to be a good attorney general, to be able to tell hard truths to the president. So my questions now are, can you tell hard truths to the president? So let me start with an easy truth that you could speak to the president. Can you tell him that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election?
Oh, here we go again.
You have the independence to say that. You have the gravitas, the stature, the intestinal fortitude to say, Donald Trump, you lost the 2020 election.
Didn't she answer this question already?
Senator, what I can tell you is I will never play politics. You're trying to engage me in a gotcha.
Yep.
I'm just asking a simple
I
question.
won't play
If you can
politics
speak truth
with any
to
ongoing
power, so let me ask you
investigation,
another.
like you did
let me-
leaking your
let me ask
colleague
you-
Devin Nunes's memo.
If you can't answer the question, let me ask you a different, what should be a simple truth, not a hard one. Was there massive fraud affecting the result of the 2020 election, yes or no?
Senator, I'm glad you asked that question. If you'll let me answer what
Watch
I
this
saw
part. This is
yesterday.
crazy.
No, I asked a simple question about massive fraud.
I can only tell you what I saw in
I know you want to
Pennsylvania.
answer a different question, but my question is,
He's not going to let her
can you
tell her.
tell us whether there was massive fraud affecting the results of the 2020 election, yes or no? Was
I
there
can
or was there
tell
not?
you what I saw when I went as
That's
an
not my
advocate
that's
to
not
the
my question.
campaign.
So you can't answer that.
He's not. He doesn't want her to say what she
It's
saw.
an easy truth to us, let alone to the president. So let me ask you a different question.
Yeah, he's going to move on because
It
he
will
doesn't
also
want to
be
hear
important
that.
You give good advice to the president. Are you prepared to advise the president not to pardon people who beat police officers?
Senator, as I said, the pardons are at the direction of the president. We will look and we will advise. I will look at
Look, she's gonna say, look, we can look at every case individually and say, look, me personally, if somebody assaulted a police officer, how long do you think that person should be in prison if they assaulted a police officer? Is 3 years enough? You know that these people have been in prison roughly about 3 years, give or take, from January 6th. Look, how long is the prison sentence supposed to be for assaulting a police officer? How long is justified? Is 3 years enough? Should it be longer? Should it be shorter? Personally, I think they've been in jail long enough. That's my take on it. That's just my opinion. What happened on January 6th shouldn't have happened, but there was a lot of stuff in that during that time. People just being let into the building and everything else. Like I said, how long is, how long should it be? How long should they be in prison for assaulting a police officer? I think they've been in there long enough. Just my opinion. There's a lot of people in there that didn't do anything that are still in prison. People are in prison for just walking into the building. There's a couple that are in prison that didn't even go into the building during the actual riot, insurrection, as they call it. But even though nobody's actually been convicted or charged with insurrection, that's what they're going to call it. There's a couple that went in afterwards and still got sent to prison. So, yeah, Those people should be pardoned and let go.
Every case, on a
Okay,
case,
so
let me finish, on a case by case
okay,
basis.
okay, good.
And I abhor violence to police officers.
Follow up with that. So will it be your advice to the president, Mr. President? I know you said you want to issue hundreds of pardons on day one. Will it be your advice to the president? No, Mr. President, I need to go over them on a case-by-case basis. Do not issue blanket pardons. Will that be your advice to the president?
Senator, I have not looked at any of those files. If confirmed, I will look at the files
And
for
will
the
you be able
pardons,
to
as
do?
well
Will
as
you
the
be able to
ongoing
review
investigation.
hundreds of cases on day one?
I
Of
will
course
look at
not.
every file I am
Of course
asked
you
to
won't.
look
So,
at.
But look, you can't go over 100 cases in a day. I understand that, but just as a fact of saying, look, we're gonna look at these things. You say as a blanket statement, yeah, I'm gonna, President Trump says I'm gonna pardon 100 people within the first 90 minutes. Obviously, he can't do that. Obviously, okay, but you can take a look as soon as you take a look at one of the cases. Say, you know, somebody who walked in there and didn't do anything, who is in jail. Done. Pardon them. Done. Takes 3 seconds. You read through the first thing you read and it says walked in, no violence, pardon them. Done. 3 seconds. You can get a lot done with like I said, with the people that, you know maybe they don't come across that all the time. They come across one of the cases that there was assault. They have to take a look at it, see how long they've been in prison, yada yada yada, and go from there. But a case where somebody's just walking in, especially even if it was afterwards, after the so-called riot, you know, pardon them. They walked in afterwards. They didn't do anything. Pardon them. Let them go. Done. Anyway.
so will you advise the president?
Can I
Will
answer
you,
the question?
my
I
question
would
is,
have plenty of staff. You said, of course you want.
you'll be able to review
Listen, I'm
hundreds
not
of
going to
cases on the first
mislead
day?
this body nor you.
All right, let me ask another question. You don't want to answer that. Let me
You
answer
were
another question.
censured by
It will
Congress,
also-
Senator,
it
for
will
comments just
also-
like this that
It
are
will
so
also
reckless.
it will also be important for you to be able to preserve the records, the evidence of the department. Are you ready to commit that none of the evidence in the January 6th investigation will be destroyed under your watch?
Senator, I will follow the law. I will consult with ethical officials in the department.
This again, it's the same thing. They're gonna accuse President Trump and his DOJ of doing something that they've already done. Allegedly. This is why they're afraid of, Liz Cheney being investigated. This is why Liz Cheney jumped over onto the bandwagon to support Kamala Harris, because in my opinion, it's alleged that she destroyed evidence for January 6th. It's alleged. But everything that she has done makes me believe that there's some truth in it. Jumping over and supporting Kamala Harris and not Donald Trump makes me think that there might be some fact to the fact to the allegations of her destroying evidence, and it should be investigated. It's an accusation. It's alleged. Maybe there's nothing to it. I don't think that, but maybe I'm wrong. I think it should be investigated regardless. It's the same thing if somebody, even if a Democrat or if a Republican did it, which she claims she is, but she's really not. But that's besides the fact. Senator Cruz, which I like, if he did something like that, it should be investigated. If there was allegations against Cruz saying that he destroyed evidence in a case, it should be investigated.
Do you see any ethical basis to destroy evidence in the January 6th investigation? Then why can't you answer the question? Why can't you say, I commit to this committee, we will never destroy the evidence in the January 6th investigation? Why can't you give this committee and the American people that assurance?
Are you frightened because evidence was destroyed against President Trump that was false? Is that why?
Boom!
Why do you have difficulty answering that question?
I can't believe
Why do you
you're
have
asking such a
difficulty?
question.
Why do you have difficulty promising to preserve evidence at the Department of Justice? Why is that a difficult question?
I will follow the law.
It shouldn't be a difficult question.
She's just answered it again. I will follow the law. These people they're scared to death, and like I said, they don't want this stuff coming to light. They're scared to death. They don't want the things that they have done over the last 4 years. They don't want it to come to light. They want. They're terrified of Trump's DOJ doing the same thing that they've been doing for the last 4 years. I know I've said it 100 times already during this video, but I'm just burning it into people's brains that this is what they're afraid of. Anyway, Senator, I don't know how you say his name exactly, Padilla. I think it's Padilla. Anyway, he, we're gonna get into his here on this one too.
Your
So
job will be, Your job
I'm
will
speaking.
be to protect voters and election workers, not to undermine and dox them. Now, I know that earlier you agreed that Joe Biden is in fact president, but many of the
That's what she
president's
said.
inner circle continue to spread the big lie about the 2020 election. Then move on to a different topic.
Senator, you were speaking. May I speak? You cut
When I
me
ask
off
you
when
the
I
next
was
question,
speaking.
you can speak, and I hope you answer, Ms. Bondi.
Well, I'd
Now,
like
when
to
we met
answer the
yesterday,
previous one, Senator.
when we met yesterday,
You pointed your finger at me and
you
said
did not
you were
seem to be
speaking.
familiar
Let me answer
with
my
the
question. I'm not going to be
Citizenship
bullied by
Clause
you.
of the 14th Amendment of the United States of America, which was deeply disappointing.
I guess you
And I'm
didn't want to
hoping
hear
you're more
my
familiar
answer
with it
about
today.
Pennsylvania.
No, he doesn't want to hear it. No, but none of them do.
Overnight. So can you tell me in this committee what the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment says?
Senator, I'm here to answer your questions. I'm not here to do your homework and study for you. If I am confirmed as
You're the one
Attorney
asking
General,
for a confirmation,
hey,
though,
you
ma'am.
cut me off. Can I please finish?
What does the 14th Amendment say?
Senator, the 14th Amendment we all know addresses birthright citizenship. I've been a state prosecutor. I've been a state AG. I look forward to, even given your remarks today, working with you and the people of California if I am confirmed as the 87th Attorney General of the United States of America. I didn't take your homework assignment. I'm sorry. I was preparing for today.
I think she made these people look like idiots this entire hearing. There was there's a lot. I mean, White House came out and she just makes these people look like idiots. All the questions that they have and her counters were just spot on. I think she did phenomenal. But I mean, that's just me. I mean, we'll take a look at White House here too.
Said that Department of Justice prosecutors will be prosecuted in the Trump administration. What Department of Justice prosecutors will be prosecuted and why?
I said that on TV. I said prosecutors will be prosecuted, to finish the quote, if bad. Investigators will be investigated. You know, we all take an oath, Senator, to uphold the law. None of us are above the law. Let me give you a really
Indeed.
good example of a bad lawyer within the Justice Department, a guy named Klein Smith, who altered a FISA warrant, one of the most important things we can do in this country. So will everyone be held to an equal, fair system of justice if I am the next Attorney General? Absolutely. And no one is above the law.
There you go.
Under what circumstances will you prosecute journalists for what they write?
What freedom of the press? Why would she?
I believe in freedom of speech.
See, this is another try. This is them trying to get her in a gotcha moment again.
It's pretty basic, Senator, with anything, with any victim. And this goes back to my entire career for 18 years as a prosecutor and then 8 years as Florida's Attorney General. You find the facts of the case. You apply the law in good faith, and you treat everyone fairly.
Done. There you go. Anyway, White House. We're gonna one more clip from White House here in this one.
It would not be appropriate for a prosecutor to start with a name and look for a crime. It's a prosecutor's job to start with a crime and look for a name, correct?
He's trying to get her in another gotcha. Okay, he's saying, look, you can't. They're talking about it. I think this was part of the enemies list thing. with Cash Patel. But look, this is another thing that the Democratic DOJ has done for the last 4 years. They take a name and they run with it. And President Trump is a prime example of it. They tried to get him on anything and everything that they could, and none of it worked. It actually just bolstered him and made him more popular and everything else. So it actually backfired on them. But they are terrified of this happening to them again. I know I'm repeating myself over and over and over, but this is it.
Senator, I think that is the whole problem with the weaponization that we have seen the last 4 years and what's been happening to Donald Trump. They targeted Donald Trump. They went after him, actually starting back in 2016. They
Mm-hmm.
targeted his campaign.
Yep.
They have launched countless investigations against him. That will not be the case if I am Attorney General. I will not politicize that office. I will not target people simply because of their political affiliation. Justice will be administered even-handedly throughout this country. Senator, we've got to bring this country back together. We've got to move forward, or we're going to lose our country.
Yes.
I think the concern is that weaponization of the Justice Department.
You've been doing it for 4 years.
Under your tenure, and we want to make sure that that's not the case. That you remain independent. That you remain able to and willing to tell the president no when that's necessary to protect the Constitution and the integrity of the department. So that's where I'm asking these questions.
Nobody said no for the last 4 years. Don't look at us. Don't look at us. We're only concerned about what you're going to do. Don't look at us. It's ridiculous. Okay, so Hirono from the great state of Hawaii. Oh, it's just. She is just. I don't know about her. She's just. I think she's off in left field somewhere doing. I don't know what her. I mean, check this out. This is insane to me. But, I mean, watch this. Oh, my bad.
As part of my responsibility to ensure the fitness of all nominees, I ask the following two initial questions. First, since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature?
No, Senator.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement relating to this kind of conduct?
No, Senator.
Wow. I
As
mean,
part of my responsibility,
she straight up asked her. Okay, look. Allegedly, even though it was in his book, good old Kamala Lala, nobody asked her that question. Where was that question for her? Old Hirono. Keep in mind, this is the same woman that tried to censor people on YouTube for talking, against their political beliefs. That's this person. She straight out called out Crowder during one of the hearings during the whole YouTube fiasco with Crowder and all that. So, I mean, doesn't shouldn't surprise me that this girl's off in left field somewhere. But I mean, here's another one from her. Yes, I agree.
Senator, I certainly have not heard the president say that, but what I will tell you is two-thirds of Americans have lost faith in the Department of Justice. And it's statements like that, I believe, that make people continue to lose faith. If I
Mm-hmm.
am confirmed as Attorney General, it will be
She's responding. This was a theme throughout this hearing. They would cut her off and say, "We're going to move on," because they don't want to hear what she actually has to say, because they're going to get taken to school. And I think she like I said before, she did a fantastic job, and she didn't fall into their gotchas and everything else. Hirono's just kind of like Shiffy. Shiffy's a piece of crap. Just and she's no better than he is. Uh, one more from her, and we'll move on from that. And she's already answered this case by case basis. She's already answered it. No answer. And he said that about the fact that there's Venezuelan gangs and people that are coming into this country that want to do ill will to this country, and it is a problem. And you've got an influx of illegal immigrants that are putting stress on the country and its people. That's what he's referring to. And these people don't see it that way. They, whatever. Oh, mm-hmm. They ain't gonna let you finish. That's because they don't want to hear the answer. They keep moving on. And again, they ask the same questions just over and over and over. Still trying. It's a repeat of the questions, maybe worded a little different. Still trying to get her in a gotcha, but they never did. And she handled herself well. And Hirono's a piece of crap. So there's that. Okay. So Klobuchar. Ooh, we all like her, right? Anyway, she's gonna go into this, and we'll watch her now.
Play no role in cases investigated or brought. Senator, it will be my job, if confirmed as Attorney General, to make those decisions. Politics will not play a part. I've demonstrated that my entire career as a prosecutor, as Attorney General, and I will continue to do that if you confirm me as the 87th Attorney General of the United States of America.
Unlike your DOJ.
Question with some of my colleagues talked about China and the risk. Yet you have a nominee from this incoming administration, Kash Patel, the pick to head the FBI. I have serious concerns about him.
They have serious concerns about Kash Patel because they are scared to death of that guy, because he has come out and said, "Look, there's going to be investigations. We're going to take care. We're going to rebuild the FBI." I don't know if that's exactly his words, but paraphrasing. He's going to take care of business, and they're scared to death of that guy because he did say he's going to hold investigations. He's going to hold people to the he's going to hold people accountable, which rightfully so. If there is cause for an investigation, it should take place, and if people are found guilty, their feet should be held to the fire. They're scared to death of that guy because he said he's going to do it.
Has referred to the FBI's Intel Division, which is responsible for protecting us from foreign adversaries like China, as, quote, the biggest problem the FBI has had, and he said that he wants to, quote, break that component out of the FBI. Do you agree?
Look, that's because the FBI has been investigating people like parents going to school board meetings when they're supposed to be, focusing on foreign threats. Call me crazy, but that be what the FBI is doing?
Agree. I have not seen those comments from Mr. Patel. I would review them, but we have to do everything we can to protect our country. Again, Mr. Patel would fall under me and the Department of Justice, and I will ensure that all laws are followed, and so will he.
Okay.
There you go.
There are many decisions made by the FBI director, having seen a number of them do their work, that can be made. While I agree you would be the boss of Cash Patel,
Well,
I'm not sure that you would be able to intervene with every decision or position that he had or know what he's doing. So let's continue. Do you agree?
I think
it's the duty
she
of the
could
Justice
play a big
Department
role in
to
it.
defend the laws Congress?
Look, yeah, maybe not. Maybe she won't be able to know everything that he's doing. You know, FBI director's a huge job. Maybe she won't be able to know everything he's doing. But you know what? She can play a big part of it. You know, checks and balances. You know, anyway. Eric Schumer came out and he defended her a little bit. Said that she's a great nominee, which she is. Her background and her qualifications are tremendous, and I think she's overqualified, and I think she's a shoe in. She, you know, just on her background, she should be eligible to get in. So we'll take a look at this one.
I do want to say, though, that it appears as though Trump derangement syndrome is alive and well.
Yes, it is.
The focus of these questions today are disturbing. I don't think my Democrat colleagues learned very much from the November 5th election. The American
No,
people
they did
rejected all
not.
this. Their obsession with President Trump didn't bode well for them electorally, and I think if they stay on this path, they'll be in a permanent minority. But that's up to
112 electoral votes, Senator.
landslide. But that's up for them. That's up to them to decide. I do want to comment a little bit, I guess, on this newfound religion on independence from the Attorney General. I will remind my colleagues that the last three Democratic attorneys general for the United States of America were perhaps the most politically biased AGs we've had in modern political history in the United States. And there are some receipts. Eric Holder described himself as Obama's heat shield and wingman. This committee moved forward, and one of my colleagues referenced that the Attorney General shouldn't be the wingman of the president. Eric Holder's bragged about it. He bragged about it. Loretta Lynch met with Bill Clinton on the tarmac in a private meeting while she was investigating Hillary Clinton.
That's crazy.
And Merrick Garland probably gets however many gold stars you want to give for the most politicized, weaponized Department of Justice we have ever seen.
Yep. And there you go. I mean, he said it. It's like I said. I know. I'm repeating myself. Don't look at us and what we've done. Just don't do what we've been doing. That's the whole hearing here. But she handled herself well. And last thing we're going to look at, Senator Cruz came out and help defend her as well. And like I said, I don't think that she's going to have an issue. I think that she's going to get confirmed. And I think it's going to be fantastic. But
I thought the exchange just a moment ago with Senator Hirono was illustrative.
Was crazy and stupid? Yeah.
He asked you how you would respond if the president asked you to target his political enemies. It's rather striking because it's not a hypothetical.
It's happening now.
It's happened over the last 4 years.
Yes.
And I think perhaps the most tragic legacy of the Biden-Harris administration has been the politicization and the weaponization of the United States Department of Justice.
Absolutely.
Hypothetically, because Joe Biden publicly mused and allowed the New York Times to report it, calling on Merrick Garland, why will he not prosecute Trump more quickly? And Merrick Garland, sadly, he sat in that chair and promised to be apolitical, and he broke that promise almost the instant he walked into the Department of Justice.
Mm-hmm.
If you look on the west pediment of the Supreme Court of the United States, just above the entrance, there's a simple yet profound four-word phrase, equal justice under law. We have seen over the last 4 years a Department of Justice that systematically targeted the political opponents of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. and that systematically protected his friends and allies. And it is tragic to see the loss of confidence in the American people, in the Department of Justice, and in the FBI. I would note, I don't think there's an institution in America who has lost more respect from the American people than the FBI has in the last 4 years. That is a grotesque violation of the obligation of the Department of Justice and the FBI. So I want to start with just a very simple question. If you are confirmed as Attorney General, will you pledge to fairly and faithfully uphold the law regardless of party?
So help me God.
Done. There you go. The one question that needed to be asked, he asked it. And she said, yes, so help me God. Done. There you go. In my opinion, the one question that's most important through all of this is that one right there. Will you uphold the law regardless of party? She said, so help me God. Done. I'm good. There you go. I'm good with that.
Amen.
Amen.
Look, and I want to be clear for folks at home. I don't want a Republican Department of Justice. I don't want a Democrat Department of Justice. I want a Department of Justice that follows the damn law.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the American people do too. That shouldn't be too much to expect.
Look, that's it. That's it. You know, every, like I said, he did it perfectly. The one question that needed to be asked, he asked it. Done. I'm good with it. She handled herself well. I thought it was a good hearing. Democrats came at her. She didn't let them have nothing. She didn't give them no gotchas. Go watch the entire thing if you can sit through it's long, but I encourage people, if you want to see the full context, go watch it. It was good. You know, check it out. If you want to watch the whole thing, if you can get through it, I know, like I said, it's long, but I think she did a great job. I think she'll get confirmed, and I think she's gonna do a great job. She she straight up said that she's not gonna. I know, like Garland said, you know, they weren't gonna do any of this stuff. Same as Bondi said, she's not gonna do it either. But I tend to believe her more than I do them because of their track record. So that's just me. That's all I got for now. If you like what you saw, hit that follow, subscribe. You can also follow me on X at ThePoliticalRay. And I will see you all in the next one, and God bless.